Hi, I'm Ted Barnes. I'm graduating from the MFA Fiction program, and I will be reading one short piece. It is the prologue to my thesis. The thesis is titled Seasons of the Tide. The prologue is titled The Ocean. Flecked and chipped with white paint, the rowboat maintained a disciplined course. It managed to move in a perfect straight line, steady, strong. The ocean blurred into the horizon, blue on blue. Blue, black, gray clouds blanketed the channel. Rain poured. A tapping noise filled the dense air. Water met water and joined together. The ocean surface rose and fell like floating panes of glass. A shimmering neon turquoise cloud clung tight to the tiny boat's hull. Nowhere else in the sea was the shade of blue found. Water pushed out at its darker blue brothers. Inside the two-bench rowboat, firmly planted at the bow, the man focused on the thick rain. One eye was green, the other bright blue, both locked in deep focus, half closed. He tucked his hands into his sleeves, arms forming a square over his chest. His dark skin and shaved head were miraculously dry. The ubiquitous water somehow evaded his huge body. Hunkered behind him, soaked head to toe, a woman monitored their aqueous surroundings. Her long brown hair whipped in the wind. A lone freckle on the top of her upturned nose claimed the highlight to an otherwise plain face. A thick swell approached the rowboat and passed underneath. Its white cap brushed each side and slid off the wood, unable to unsettle the weary travelers. The boat, too, refused to flinch. It settled without a splash, maintaining pace and course. Close behind came a second wave, taller and deeper than the first. Again, the water failed to disturb, and the boat climbed up and over with ease. Then all darkened. Lightning streaked across the sky, illuminating a massive wave that waned late, so giant its crest filled the sky. It rolled toward them, they glided toward it. The watery mountain drew near. The man stood. Light on his feet, he faced the oncoming wall of water. As it approached, he flung his hands out and pointed. Complicated hand movements punched and grasped at invisible strings. The air bent in reaction and pulsed in sync. He thrust his arms toward the center of the wave. His aim was true. On the wall of water erupted dual flashes of lights. They scattered like iridescent dandelion seeds blown on the wind. One sparked from his hands, the other inside the curve of the swell. The glow shimmered, danced for an instant, then vanished without a trace. The wave collapsed on either side of the boat. Water idled, clearing a safe path for the rowboat. The magician returned to his seat. With a flick of the wrist, a watery turquoise cloud returned to the hull. He sighed. Tall white cliffs materialized in the mist. Land was in sight. On the coast was a sleeping town, nestled behind a concrete barrier pressed up into the slope of a green hill. Gas lamps flickered from weathered gray buildings. Idle horses lingered behind their carriages. An automobile sputtered bumpily by, and the horses watched with confusion, then bent their heads to sniff the stone avenue. The tide left the rowboat toward a beach next to town. The earth grew close. The sand raced to greet them. With complete concentration, breathing deeply, the man twiddled his fingers as if playing piano and guided the rowboat ashore. The woman jumped onto the sand and ensured the boat docked. The man remained seated. Shaking from the effort, he found himself unable to stand. She crossed around the boat to help. He leaned over the railing, and she kneeled in the sand, holding him in her arms so he would not fall. The man found strength, then pressed down on the boat to lift up, high enough to clear the railing. With her support, he crumbled onto her. The magician stood, flexed his fingers, pushed at nothing, and watched the air, but nothing happened. Again he tried, nothing, not even a hint, a buzz of power, flash of illumination, or indication of physical disruption. In reflexive response, his large body sagged. Without word they knew. It had been coming for a long, long time. The man turned to his travel companion, and in a deep, low, gruff voice, with a finality that shook them both, and the twisting, wet air around them, with a look that revealed that things would never be the same, that the cycle had completed and lapsed, and there would be no more quests, or fights, or joy, or pain, or redemptions to fulfill, he spoke. It's gone. And that's it.